60 people of the Republican Party are losing their offices now because of the transition. People are not at the morale.
And we've gained in the Senate. Nancy, we've gained in the Senate. Excuse me, did we win the Senate? We won the Senate.
When the president brags that he won North Dakota and Indiana, he's in real trouble.
I did.
Let me say this.
We did win North Dakota and Indiana.
Well, Chuck, North Dakota and Indiana were in Democratic hands. Anyway, that was more the president's showdown, beatdown with Democratic leaders earlier today. Now, President Trump continues to forge ahead despite Democratic obstruction. Earlier tonight, he tweeted this: thanks to Leader McConnell for agreeing to bring a Senate vote on criminal justice this week. These historic changes will make communities safer and save tremendous taxpayer dollars. It brings much-needed hope to many families during the holiday season. All right, joining us now with reaction to this and so much more, Texas Senator. Whoa, we got the new beard thing going on. I didn't know you had that. Ted Cruz is with us. Good to see you, Senator.
It's good to be with you, Sean.
I think you're the only guy in history. I may be wrong. I think you've had more money thrown at you in that last election than ever before in any Senate race. Is that pretty accurate? Almost $100 million?
Yeah, no, it's right. They spent over $80 million against us. We were outspent 3-1. And they increased Democratic turnout by over 100%. But thankfully, we turned Texans out, we turned Republicans out, and we ended up winning statewide. Very gratified for that victory.
Important race. Here's what I want to ask you. I remember when in 2013 or 14, when you did a filibuster, and I was up for a good part of the night. I can tell you who actually supported you. And I watched you, and then there were predictions, he's just lost us the Senate. And in 2014, no, we actually had a very good year for the Senate. I watched the president today, and I'm thinking, this is what people want from their elected officials, to fight for the promises they made. You were fighting on health care then. He's fighting on borders now. Why don't we see more of this in the Republican Party?
Sean, I think you're exactly right. The American people have for a long time been frustrated with Washington, frustrated that too many elected officials don't follow through on their promises. And they want us to do what we said we would do. You know, I watched that whole exchange with the president, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and I think the president was terrific that he was standing up and saying, we're going to keep our promise. We're going to secure the border. We're going to build the wall. And I'll tell you, one of the surest indications of how unhappy the Democrats were in that exchange is over and over again, Nancy Pelosi says, can we turn the TV cameras off? We're not supposed to be doing this publicly. Right. You can tell they're on the losing end of the argument when she's scared that cameras are showing that she and the Democrats are for open borders, and the president is fighting to do what the American people want, which is secure the border, build the wall, and keep our country safe.
Well, and I was down with Rick Perry on the border and on boats and helicopters. I've been down to the border from the Rio Grande through San Diego 13 times. I sat through a security briefing with Governor Perry, 642,000 Texans victims of crime in a 7-year period. Here's my question, though. And by the way, I got to give Lindsey Graham credit when he stood up to Justice Kavanaugh in that case against what was happening to him. Here's my question. Everybody seemed to fear a government shutdown. Don't essential services continue? The elderly will get their Social Security check. Medicare continues. Our military is in place. So why always the big fear about a shutdown on something as important as our national security?
Well, listen, essential services continue during any shutdown, and at this point, about 70% of the federal government has already been appropriated. So we're fighting over about 30% of the federal budget. Now, I personally hope we don't have a shutdown, but I think the president is absolutely right to say the American people want the border secured. It's the right thing to do, and the Democrats are just being obstructionists. They are opposed to border security, and I'll tell you, that's a big reason why Republicans grew our majority in the Senate this election. As the president noted, winning North Dakota and Indiana, winning Texas is because the American people want the border secure.
Let me ask you about Mueller and where we are with this. First of all, your thoughts on the double standard. Hillary Clinton, uranium one deal, gave 20% of our uranium to the hostile nation of Russia and the hostile actor Putin. Nobody investigates that. 20%, and $145 million went back to the Clinton Foundation, or the dossier, which we now know that they never vetted, but it was the foundation of this entire, or the bulk of information for the FISA applications. Nobody talks about that. The money that paid for the dossier was funneled through a law firm. That, seems to me, would be a campaign finance issue. but they're trying to claim Donald Trump has campaign finance issues. As a lawyer, I'm asking you, do you see that? Because I do not.
Listen, all of these are serious allegations, and the Department of Justice needs to investigate serious allegations of criminal conduct. One of the things frustrating over the last 2 years is we have not had sufficient accountability in the Department of Justice. I think the Department of Justice should be blind to political party. I don't want a Republican DOJ or a Democratic DOJ. I want a Department of Justice that's faithful to the Constitution and the law.
Right.
And I'm hopeful with the new Attorney General nominee, Bill Barr, that we will see that at the Department of Justice. We need to make sure everyone's held accountable.
I had this woman, Alice Marie Johnson, on, who the president commuted her sentence. Amazing woman, 20 years, single drug crime. How do you feel about the prison reform bill as long as violent felons are not included?
Well, I think we're getting ready to have a major bipartisan victory, and I want to commend the president's leadership on criminal justice reform. I'm a longtime advocate of criminal justice reform. I think reducing mandatory minimum sentences for nonviolent drug offenders makes a lot of sense. There are far too many young black men in prison for decades for simple possession. That's not right. But my big concern, and you just put your finger on it, is we should not be releasing violent criminals. Violent criminals are totally different. I draw a big line between violent and nonviolent. And so what happened last week, I drafted an amendment to this bill that excluded violent criminals, that said we're going to focus relief on nonviolent criminals, but rapists, murderers, violent criminals are going to stay in jail. The sponsors of the bill in the White House, they took my amendment word for word, and when they took my amendment, I'm now supporting it. I'm a co-sponsor. I urged Mitch McConnell to take it up and schedule a vote, and just today he announced we're going to do it. I think we're going to pass this, which will be a major, major bipartisan victory, and I think it's in the interest of justice.
I do, too. All right, Senator, well said. Good to see you. I'm getting used to the new look. If it gets a little wider and longer, next year you can be Santa Claus. You have a ways to go.
Ho, ho, ho.
All right, Senator Ted Cruz, thank you.